In this video, we'll learn how to create your own teams, and this will show you the teams that you're actually a part of. But to create your own teams, just go to the button here in the top right and click on Join or Create Team. Now, once you're there, click on Create Team, and you have lots of options, but for the purposes of your lessons, you'll click on Class. Now, this is the setting up of teams, and you really only have to do this once every time you get a course, because let's say you already taught a certain class. I'll click down here, and here we can see all of the teams that I have created. Click on it, and it'll copy the template over, so you don't have to recreate it. But let's just do it from scratch. Here, I'm going to type out the name of the student, and then the name of the class. And the description is optional, so you can leave it blank or you can write whatever you'd like in there. Just click next. And since students will have a Microsoft account, all you have to do here is type in the name of the student and then click add. You'll see that the name will appear right here. Now just hit close and it'll take you to the general homepage for the teams that you have just created. Here towards the bottom, you're able to see different options. This is where you'll write, but if you click on this, it is a button to edit your text. And if you click on this button here, you can add attachments. You can click this to view different emojis, and you have different pictures and stickers that you can use here to communicate with your students. And this button here is to actually start a video chat. So this is a button that you can click to start your lessons with your student. And the button next to it is a button that'll take you to stream. Now stream is where your recorded lessons will be. And you actually have the ability to add a lot more apps. Now we don't have to go into this because Teams actually has a wide array of apps that you can use that associate with your teams. But for the purposes of this video, we won't expand on these apps. Now what I'm doing here is writing my introduction so that when the student joins the team, this is the very first thing that they see. Now here on the left side is where you have the different options for teams. These three dots will actually give you a menu of different things you can do. Here you can change the name of your teams, you can add different channels. Right now we're actually on the general channel, but if we click here to add a channel, we can add any kind of channels that you would like. Here I'm adding a homework questions channel. So this channel will specifically be about homework, and you actually have the option to individualize your lessons with channels in this way. And you can use channels to be creative with your lessons. Here I'm adding a words I want to learn channel, just so that there's a space where the instructor and student can both write down a list of things maybe we'd want to translate to a different language. You don't have to do anything with these channels at all. You can just stay in this general channel and communicate directly only on the general channel. This is only here as an option for you. Now let's talk about what we see here at the top. These are actually apps that are associated with Teams. The files is where everything that you share with your students is going to be stored. You can add new files, you can upload existing files, sync files that have already been added to another device. And this button here will offer a link to Teams, and also a link to SharePoint, where all of your files are actually being stored. SharePoint and Teams are connected in that whatever file you share on Teams, it gets uploaded to SharePoint. In fact, when you create a Teams, a folder with the name of the Teams is added on SharePoint. This is why you have a button here that says Open in SharePoint. This will take it to the specific SharePoint site that gets created when you create a Teams. Right now, it took us to an empty general folder because we haven't shared anything yet. We will explore the functions of SharePoint and how to find documents that you have shared in different channels in a separate video. The second app that we'll explore in this video is the app called Class Notebook. Class Notebook is great because it is a space where all of your lesson notes can live. To start, all you need to do is click on this button, set up a OneNote class notebook, and just like the creation of teams, you can actually copy over a previous notebook that you've done. So essentially, you only have to do this once. Now, to start, click on blank notebook, and here are the different sections that you'll get with the class notebook app. We'll explore each of these sections in a bit. Just click next to continue the setup. Now you get the option to customize the sections of the student section of the notebook, and you can actually keep adding sections, you can remove them. What we do here now is not set in stone. You can definitely add or delete sections in the future. So I'm just going to change class to lesson and hit create. This part usually takes a bit to set up as it's the initial setup of class notebook. This is similar to a Word doc in that you have similar functions like text editing and inserting pictures, files, charts. You can draw, you can view the notebook in a different way. This bar here will be available in all parts of the class notebook. So whatever you can utilize to edit the text or whatever you may want to enter, and this is sort of a guide on how to use the class notebook. You certainly don't need to follow, these things word for word. It's just a helpful guide to get you started. You can view the other parts of the notebook by clicking on this triangle here on the top left. The purple here denotes that you are on the welcome section. The welcome section here is 2 pages. You can think of these parts here as like chapters in a book, and these parts here as in what's in those chapters. Here on this welcome chapter, there are 2 pages. Here on this welcome chapter, we have the welcome to class notebook page, and we have this frequently asked questions page. And it has a bunch of links to Microsoft support in case you need it. You can actually keep adding pages. If you go down here and click add page, it opens up an untitled page. So you can name it whatever you'd like. Similarly, you can right click to delete a page. And I'll just click yes. I can add more pages and I can add more sections. You can certainly customize it however you'd like, but I wouldn't think that you would need to add more sections. It should be enough as it is right now. Something to know though is if you do create a section by clicking here on this plus section button, you'll definitely be able to rename it and delete it, but you are not able to do that with the pre-made sections. You'll also notice that in each section there is a how-to guide and there are instructions. So let's take a look at this collaboration space. And if I click on it, it'll reveal what is in that section. So because I clicked on collaboration space, it expanded and it showed me what is inside. If I click it, it'll show me the page that it was referring to, this getting started with a collaboration space. If I want to read it, I'll just click here anywhere really in the empty space of the document and it'll expand. And to return to where I was, seeing the entire sections, I'll just click on this triangle again. I'm only showing you this as an available resource that you can possibly make your classes a little more engaging and more organized. Similarly, the content library. If I want to see what's inside, I'll click on content library. It will take us to the how-to guide. And here I'm writing a page dedicated to links found for grammar practice. Maybe this is a link that will be referred to constantly in case there's some kind of grammar question or grammar practice for the student. Reading pages here. The student section is definitely a section that you'll be using a lot to view since it will have the lesson notes. So to view, click on the name of the student. In this case, it's test student. And the different pages that we had set up in the beginning are here. Now if I click on lesson notes, it will take me to a blank page because I don't have anything in there. I can rename it and change it to lesson notes 1. Then go back here, you can see I can create another page, and that way I can keep creating lesson notes, and it's going to automatically have the date and time, and it's already associated with the student and the language level. The good thing about this is that you can just copy and paste the template that was set up on Google Drive. What I'm doing here is copying all and pasting all, and you'll notice that it looks a little bit different because the tables are not set up, or they're actually not visible. But they're actually there. Just click in this space and you'll notice here this table section comes up, and if you click on hide borders, it'll reveal the table. I'm not sure why it does that automatically, but if you click this button, it'll reveal, and just like any other table, you can click on the edges and resize it. Same thing down here. If you click on this space and click on hide borders, it'll reveal the table. Something helpful that you can do is create a page and name it template lesson notes. And here you can just copy and paste the template that you had from Google Drive. And now you can just leave it as a page where you can just copy it whenever you are creating new lesson notes. Now remember, we're on the lesson notes section. So if I click on quizzes, it'll take me to a blank page. Likewise, if I click on homework, it'll take me to a blank page. You definitely don't need to add more sections. I just left these here as a possible area of interest. We certainly don't require you to use these sections. And that's the class notebook and a lot of the features on it. You can also open this class notebook online and not access it through Teams like we did today. You can do that by clicking on Open in Browser and then clicking again Open in Browser. This will take you to a OneNote page. OneNote is the app that's responsible for the class notebook. You can also access your class notebooks by visiting the OneNote homepage. If I do that, it'll show me all of the class notebooks that I have created, and you can open them by just clicking on them, and it should look almost exactly like the view that we saw in Teams.